in captivity, and their captor is the charming Connell Cochran, played by veteran character actor Dan O'Herlihy. What was Dan like, Tom?
Dan?
Yeah, I mean, something tells me he was not a let's have a couple beers and watch the game sort of dude.
Oh, he was a lovely Irish actor and a great Shakespearean actor, and he was lovely to work with.
Okay.
Just really a
Did you
nice
hang out
guy.
with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice guy. I didn't like him at the time, but he was a nice guy.
What about you, Stacy? You had scenes with him too, right?
Yeah, I just remember him being very nice and lovely is
Charming.
the word. And then Tommy Lee would say action, and he would be this awful, cold, cruel
evil,
person. Yeah,
evil.
Instantly.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. He was
Well, Dan O'Herlihy was definitely right for the part. He was born in County Wexford, Ireland. He grew up in Dublin. He studied architecture. He worked at the Great Abbey Theatre in Dublin. He was actually nominated for an Oscar back in 1954 for his performance in Louis Buñuel's Robinson Crusoe. And he played Macduff opposite Orson Welles when Orson Welles did Macbeth. And he did a lot of costume dramas at Universal and Fox, and he played the title role in the remake of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in 1962. And he was the Air Force General in Failsafe. He was the reptilian alien in The Last Starfighter. He was, you remember that guy? He was the villain in RoboCop. So he was well suited for this role. He continued to work at the Abbey Theatre almost until his death in 2005. But as we move into the part of the movie where all is revealed now, the inner workings of the Mask Factory, I want to bring out the writer and the director. Please don't hurt me, Tommy Lee. Come on out. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Lee Wallace. Welcome. Have a seat there, everybody. Stacy. Oh, Darcy. Meet Tommy Lee Wallace, the creator of your dream movie. All right. First of all, was it hard to find somebody to play Connell Cochran?
You know, we were awfully lucky to wind up with Dan, but he was not the first choice. Try and envision, if you might, those of you who can remember back to the good old days, the first offer went out to Fred McMurray.
Fred McMurray? Wow.
And I think that would have been pretty tasty.
Does he do evil well? Did he do evil well?
Are you familiar with the films of Billy Wilder?
Yeah. Okay.
How about Double Indemnity?
Yeah, you're right.
Does he do evil well?
Yeah.
And he did it to a T.
Okay.
No, I sent a long, adoring letter to Fred McMurray, but not interested.
Okay.
And I'm glad in a way, because I can't imagine anybody doing better than Dan O'Herlihy
He was
in that
great.
part.
I saw an interview where Dan O'Herlihy said that he decided to use a Cork accent in Halloween 3. And the way I understand it is, I'm not an expert in Irish accents, but the Dublin accent is the classic Irish, and the Cork accent is kind of redneck Irish, right? Am I right?
Well, yeah, and you know, Dan was the expert, and so I simply deferred.
So if he said, well, what do you want, Tommy Lee, Cork or Dublin? You would just say, you choose.
Do your magic.
Okay.
Oh, and on the subject of magic, I really need for you to get into the spirit of this movie.
Well,
It's about magic. It's not about practical bullshit that you've been laying out, doggedly laying out.
All right.
If you hate the movie, I forgive you. But if you apply that kind of hard logic, you'll never enjoy one frame of it, because it's about magic.
All right. So it's dream logic, right?
Well, for example, the whole idea of Stonehenge, absurd though it may be, and I'll readily admit that's pretty far out there, you know, if you say, oh, those chips won't work because the thing didn't get there in time, blah, 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 you're leaving a lot out. I mean, how do you know how many other little bitty stones were already in place when the guy turned around and said, in effect, we need a bigger boat?
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good explanation. All right. Well, let me talk about this. You were a pretty close collaborator with John Carpenter on Halloween and many other movies, and often, would you say most often as an art director, editor? You did a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, really. Art director, production designer eventually,
Okay.
and editor. It all started on when I came out to film school. John was already almost out of film school at the time, making Dark Star, a student project that sort of ran away and became a feature. And he enlisted the help of several people, me included. I was the person that got next to Dan O'Bannon, who most people here are familiar with, I'm sure.
Yes.
I was the only one somehow who, I guess I was the Dan whisperer. Dan was not easy to get along with, but he liked me and showed me a lot. And that went on and on through Assault on Precinct 13, cut sound effects, and was
Okay.
the art director, and blah, blah, blah. Goes
And
on
then,
like that.
and then you were, John Carpenter offered you the chance to direct Halloween 2, but you
Yes.
went with Halloween 3. So what was that about?
I know there are fans out there of both Halloween 1 and 2. I'm really proud of the original Halloween, and I've had a lot to do with it. When Halloween 2 came along, it was a dream come true. Wow, first directing gig, feature film, yeah. But then John made the decision to do a 5 minutes later sequel. That wasn't the way I would have gone, but that wasn't what caused me to leave the show. What caused me to leave the show was when he turned in the script. And it was the polar opposite in feel of the original Halloween, which did its magic with just suggestion and suspense and classic horror movie tricks that, go all the way back. Halloween 2 was a different story, a lot of blood and gore, and I just couldn't stomach it. I hated walking away, but John and Deborah deserved a director who would really be enthusiastic and give it 100%. I couldn't get my heart into it, so I
Okay.
really...
Are you saying there's no blood and gore in Halloween 3?
Well, that's a different story. I somehow between, and it's a good question too. You're very good. You do your homework. I'm really impressed.
He does a
Joe
lot
Bob.
of homework. Then.
Yeah, he did his homework.
A lot of research.
Yeah, but no, you ask a fair question, and the answer is in my book, which is out in the fall.
I'm going to read your book. I know about your book.
Good, thank you.
What's the name of the book? Tell everybody the name of the book.
Halloween 3. Where the hell is Michael Myers?
I know, as far as Halloween 3 goes, I know the original script was written by Nigel Neal,
Correct.
The creator of the Quatermass experiment for the BBC, and then
Many
all
others.
the Quatermass movies. And in the U.S., the Quatermass movies were called The Creeping Unknown. But I get the impression that Nigel Neal was a dyspeptic kind of guy, kind of a handful, would you say?
I think that as a younger man, he must have been a sort of lovable curmudgeon. But I spoke with his biographer on a couple of occasions, who said that Nigel had done so many films in the 60s and 70s that never got made, that he had kind of turned a little bitter. And I just think all of it curdled a bit by the time he got to Halloween 3. We accused him, not to his face, but his script was pretty hard on the Irish.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that to the biographer, and he said, well, you need to understand, Nigel didn't particularly hate the Irish. He didn't like anybody. And
well, see, that would fit because he was from the Isle of Man, which is that island between
kind of in between world,
Ireland and Scotland. So you
Yeah.
know, so they don't like anybody. But they do have the ancient ruins,
Yeah.
you know, the solstice circles and all that stuff. So I have to assume that he created I assume that the part of the script is his, is he created the connection to Stonehenge, right?
In a marginal way. Actually, John and I pumped that up a bit. And I should explain that the true credit for Halloween 3 should have been a 3-writer script: Nigel Neal, John Carpenter, and myself. John took no credit. Nigel had his name removed. And I actually put my name on it because I was angry at Nigel for dropping out, so I wanted to steal a little. I just wanted to mess him over a little bit,
Yeah.
and wound up with sole credit, which is ridiculous.
So it almost became an Alan Smith even.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because in this book I say that looking back I should have called it an Alan Smithy credit,
Wow.
or you know, Tommy Lee Wallace, Joe Bob, and
Right.
you know, whoever.
So, Tommy Lee, are you the one responsible for using London Bridge as falling down 27,000 times in the movie?
Every voice and every keyboard is me.
Oh wow.
Thank you. It's not really complicated. We did the thought that you went into it was far more than what I put into it. The fact that it's a British rather than Irish, man, what? You know. But the thing of it was, Deborah Hill came to me. May she rest in peace. Came to me and said, "We need this jingle, but you're going to have to either come up with something original or find something in the public domain, because we can't afford some, you know, hit song or anything like that." And so I thought about it a little while, and man, I was doing a lot of stuff at the time. You can imagine, you know, the usual list of things. And I thought, let me play it safe. I know fucking London Bridge is in the public domain. I know that much, so let's go with that. And the net result was, for me, really annoying in a good way. You know, it's
You
and
wanted
it's
it to be
also
that way.
that doesn't sound like fun little kiddie things. Although I guess in the story it fools the kids, but it's not fooling the audience. We know those are like elves in a padded cell or something.
Right,
It just
right.
doesn't sound good.
And the reason the town is called Santa Mira is that you were inviting comparisons to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, from the beginning, Halloween 3, and I hesitate to call it that, but hey, that's its title. So,
Yeah.
was for me a pod movie like Invasion, as opposed to a knife movie like the original Halloween.
Right.
So it just seemed appropriate to pay tribute. The famous beer can scene that you were alluding to took place in Sierra Madre, which a lot of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers was shot in. So that was another little tribute.
Right. Yeah, a lot of films shot in Sierra Madre. So, so Tommy, why were they making masks on Halloween Day? Isn't it impossible to get the mask into the stores by Halloween night if you're still making masks on Halloween Day?
Listen, you're just not thinking magic. You got to think magic.
All right. How did they steal the Stonehenge pillar?
There you go. That's the big magic.
Don't you think
Remember,
you would
he
have-
says. Remember, Cochran says, "You can't imagine what it took to get here," and he's laughing. You know. Well, if you like the movie in the beginning, all that stuff gets forgiven. Am I right? A lot of that stuff gets forgiven. If you don't like the movie, then you can pick. But look, you're really
All right.
good. You could pick Citizen Kane apart. I know you
Well,
could.
okay. We're just going to blame it on Nigel Neal, actually.
That's good.
All right.
See,
I'm
he
going to have
can't
more
defend
questions for
himself.
you. But right now we're going back to the movie, so roll the film. And Tom, you just beat the crap out of Dick Durock. Dick Warlock. Dick Warlock. He was the assassin that you tussled with there and
Yeah.
punched the goo, got the goo machinery out of his
Oh,
stomach.
I know.
Dick also played
A mess.
the Shape in Halloween 2.
Yeah, so he really wanted to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. Not anymore. He's happily married, living over in the Carolinas somewhere. He's fine. He's good. I hurt my hand both hits, left and the right.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, Dick was a wonderful guy to work with, and the whole. I had a great time on the film.
Okay, great. Back to
We're
the-
winning you over, aren't we?
A little bit. A little bit. That was actually a good call on the Stonehenge chips. You know, I wouldn't have thought of that one.
I know. It is magic. It's magic.
All right.
Bad magic, black magic, dark magic.
Okay. It's that Eli Roth does this thing where he says, you know, Joe Bob, it's not scientific logic, it's dream logic.
There you go. I like it.
Okay. So, all right, Eli. All right, fine. All right, Tommy. All right, fine.